Hi, everyone. So I apologize. I am 22 minutes late from when I was originally planning on doing this live stream. So those of you, if there are any that have been waiting around for me to start, I apologize. But let's get going. Let's talk about all the different things that I have to talk about. Very fun. And I do have the chat room open, and there's also the super chat. If you feel so inclined, that would really help out me and my channel and be able to do things, fun things for you, be able to see more stuff, be able to review more stuff if if you get that support. So please put that in there, and I will try to answer your questions as long as they're somewhat applicable to what we're talking about. Okay, so the big announcement I have in the title of this live stream, big channel announcement, and I don't even know if anybody will care, but it's a big thing for me. So I'm going to be putting Family Movie Night on hiatus. And that's a big step for me because I have been doing Family Movie Night since 2016. So almost a decade. And I kind of wanted to hold it out for so that I could get the full decade, because that would be pretty cool. I don't know that many people that have done continuous series on YouTube for 10 years. And that's pretty good every week. I missed a few here and there, but pretty much every week for 10 years almost. I've been doing Family Movie Night, and I'm not completely putting it away. I still would like to do my themed months. I still like to do Muppet May. I would still like to do Teen Movie Month. I would still like to do the foreign language movie Family Movie Month. I would Disney Scares Month. So I really will be picking it up in just over a month. But as far as like feeling like I needed to do it every single week, first it was on Mondays, then it was on Saturdays. I'm kind of putting that part of it aside. So I'll still do some, and maybe I can make that the 10 years for the series, make that count in that way. But as far as being able to rely on it every Saturday, and the reason why I'm doing that is because, as you've seen on my channel, so I've been working at the KSL movie show every Friday the last month or so, and I don't know how long I'll be able to do that. It's going to be at least through the end of September. It depends on the person I'm subbing for, Steve Sales. It just depends on his recovery and how quickly he's able to see the movies and be able to speak about the movies. And so that's just going to be up to him. I mean, I'm kind of hopeful that maybe they might want to still have me back every once in a while, at least when he does come back. But it could seriously be a year. Like, we just don't know. I could be done at the end of September. I could be a year. It could be, we just don't know right now. When you're recovering from a stroke, like, the recovery is just so unique to each individual. And so, we don't know. And so we're just playing it month by month by month. And so that's kind of an interesting situation for me. But when I was trying to think of my channel, like, I was thinking about maybe doing a Family Movie Night this week because I finished Teen Movie Month. And I was like, well, what do I do? But the problem is that if I'm recording the movie show on Friday, I want to upload all of those reviews onto the channel. I've been doing these audio reviews, these audio videos, and I've been excited about the results for the most part. Some of them don't go anywhere, but like the Sorry Baby review did really well, and some of the other reviews have done well, Bad Guys, things like that. And so I have all of those posting on Friday or Saturday, depending on how quickly I can get them out. And I have to post them as a video, not as a short, which is a bummer because if they were short, they would get way more views because that's the way YouTube algorithm works. But I have to post them as a video, even if they're under 3 minutes, because Rotten Tomatoes doesn't allow shorts for your reviews. So that's why they're a video, even if you're wondering. Most people don't care about this kind of thing, but this is what I have to consider. So I have to post it as a video, but then I would end up with like 5, 6, maybe even more videos on Friday or Saturday, and like the family movie night review would just get lost. So I was like, well, I could do it another day of the week. Like I could go back to it on Monday. But then I have my big post of the week for Hallmarkies podcast on Monday. So then I'd be like competing with myself. And I try to have those, except for Christmas, where I have something almost every day at Hallmarkies podcast. I try to kind of space those out so I'm not promoting both brands at the same time. So then it would be on Tuesday, and it's like, well, now that's kind of a weird day, I feel like. And I don't know, it just started to be like, maybe I need to reconsider. So that is the long and short of it. Like I said, I still want to keep some of those series going. And I guess like if there's like a real response, the family movie night has never done as well as I would like it to do. And I don't know if it's just my weakness in marketing, but I felt like it was such a marketable concept idea of every week families getting originally I was going to do a streaming recommendation. They're all going to be streaming. But then I kind of abandoned that, and that every week a family could get a recommendation that they could watch as a family. And I felt like that's so marketable, but I was never really able to make it into as big a thing as I would have liked to have made it. But some of the different series did pretty well, and the Barbie reviews, those did very, very well. And of course, I'll continue to review all the new Barbie movies because I love them. But I think what we're going to have now is probably more just like random reviews of just stuff I like, not as much that it's family movie night every Saturday or Monday. So that's the long and short of it. That's the big channel announcement. Like I said, I don't even know if anybody will care out there, but if you've enjoyed family movie night, then like put in the comments or in the chat room. And I've done over 500 reviews for family movie night, which is pretty cool. I'm proud of that I kept it going that long and that I reviewed so many films for y'all. And it was a lot of fun because a lot of times I only get to review the new films as a film critic, and I don't get to go back and watch some of these other films that I love, or get to sort of dive into different series or different topics or different. And so I liked that about family movie night. I liked that it kind of let me every week have one throwback or interesting film or just something that I liked that I could talk about every week. But now with the movie show, I really do have to be more new release focused. And you'll notice that I'm reviewing films that I wouldn't normally review, like horror films and things like that. Like I got the 3 Conjuring films to watch because I need to catch up with them because I'm going to be on movie show. I'm going to be reviewing the new one. So I have to be ready for that. And it's a very, very exciting new development in my career. Like this is a huge opportunity. I've loved the movie show my whole life. And I mean, since I was in college, my whole adult life, I've loved the movie show. So to get asked to sub in for Steve Sales, who's such a legend, to be able to learn how to do live radio, to have this opportunity is just unbelievable to me and so exciting. And so I'm trying to do everything that I possibly can to make it like to make it as beneficial to my career and just as great experience as I possibly can make it, and show them that I can contribute and just have it be this. It's just been an amazing experience so far, and I'm so grateful for it. And you can go on to KSL. If you look up KSL Movie Show, you can listen to the episodes. I've been on ever since the Smurfs episode, and you can hear what I have to say about a whole bunch of different movies. And so it's just been so exciting, and I'm like pinching myself to have this opportunity. And so anyway, that is the big news on the channel. So anyway, here we go. 500 plus reviews is really impressive from Jared Cook. Thank you, Jared. I really appreciate that. And I'm just grateful to anybody who watched any of those 511 reviews because I put my heart and soul into every single one of them. And I'm just grateful to anybody who has spent any time on my channel. So, all right. So now let's talk about, and if you're watching or in the comments after, and if you had a favorite series from Family Movie Night, like I said, Disney Scares Month, I did Teen Movie Month, I did Muppet May, the Barbie series, all those different series, Foreign Language Movie Month. If you had a favorite one of those, Disney Scares Month, I would love to hear in the comment section what a favorite of that series was for you in the comments or in the chat room. That would be awesome. Okay, so let's talk about what I have been watching, stage and screen. So we've got a lot to cover, a lot to cover. So let's go with the movies first. So I'm not going to answer tons of these live action questions. This person loves asking me about live action, but I'll answer a few. How would you feel if Disney makes a live action remake of Robin Hood? I would not want a remake with the furries. That would be very strange. All respect to furries. I just don't think that would work. But I mean, just another version of Robin Hood, sure. Why not? I mean, I like Robin Hood, and if they brought in those songs, I mean, we've had many versions of Robin Hood over the years. So it's not really a live action remake. It would just be a new version of Robin Hood, which I think is a lot of times the best way to do these stories. Like, I think that's why the Cinderella is one of the better ones, is because we've had a lot of different versions of Cinderella. Practically, I mean, every couple of years we get a new version of Cinderella. And so to me, the one in this live action remake franchise, which I really think of it as a franchise, to me, that one is just another version of Cinderella, as opposed to remaking shot for shot the original Disney animated classic. It's just a different version of Cinderella. So that's my opinion on that. Okay, so let's talk about what I have been watching. So it's been a lot because I have been because I've been working for the movie show. So let's see here. The last one we talked about was Freaker Friday. Okay. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so I saw the Snoopy Presents a Summer Musical. This has been in their Apple Plus, their Snoopy Presents series that they've done. Last year they had the Franklin movie, which I loved, and this year they have a summer musical, and it is really charming. I mean, this is a pretty easy win for me because I love Peanuts, and I love Charlie Brown, and I love musicals. So the chances are pretty high that I was going to love this. It's all about them going to camp and the different experiences they have at camp. And the songs are very catchy and charming. I can't imagine anybody disliking this little movie. It's just 45 minutes. And I do think that that Apple Plus has done a great job of managing and promoting and creating with Peanuts. They've done a wonderful job with that brand. There hasn't been a dud of anything I've seen. And so that's nice. It's such a wonderful brand, one I love so much. So it's really nice that they have taken such good care of it. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for that. And so, yeah, this is delightful. So if you have Apple Plus, I definitely recommend it. A summer musical. Okay. Then I saw Nobody for the first time, the original Nobody, and I really enjoyed it. And I actually think I like it better than the John Wick movies. I'm not as high on the John Wick movies as everyone else seems to be. They're not bad, but I liked about this movie, Nobody, is that every action scene felt unique and creative. Different implements, different styles, different, what they were doing. Some of them had guns, some of them didn't have guns, some of them. And to me, that makes it entertaining. The John Wick movies, I feel like the action is often extremely repetitive. The action scene that we just saw would be exactly the same as the action scene that we had just seen. Like they feel really repetitive, like especially that ballerina movie. Almost every action scene was like a gunfight or in like a dark bar type situation. You couldn't see that well. I don't know. I just felt like every action scene felt the same. And to me, this is more entertaining. I like these nobody movies better because I feel like the action surprises me, and we get different implements, different styles, different jokes, different. It's just, I don't know. I really was impressed with with this Nobody and then Nobody 2, which then I saw. And I guess I can see why some people didn't like it as much. They might have gone like too silly with some of like the traps and the things, but to me that was actually creative. I had fun with it. I enjoyed it, like the ridiculousness of these traps in the water park, but it was, I thought it was creative, surprising. I didn't know what was going to come next, what bonkers thing that they were going to do next. And to me, Sharon Stone was really campy and in an entertaining way. I felt like she was kind of riffing on her character in Catwoman, which is so, notoriously terrible. So it was funny to see her kind of playing in this evil executive kind of role, and that, that's what she was in Catwoman. So I thought that was funny. And I just really liked both of these Nobody movies. I would give the original an A-, and I'd give this Nobody 2 a B+. I just thought they were entertaining and funny, and the action was surprising. That was the biggest for both of them to me. So that's what I feel about Nobody and Nobody 2. So I got a question here. Have you seen Norm of the North 2, 3, and 4? I haven't, because I haven't even seen the first. No, I have not seen any of the Norm of the North sequels. I have seen the first. I saw it in the theater. Thank you very much. I saw it in the theater. And there literally was a little girl there, and her mom was just like on her phone the entire time, which, given the quality of that movie, I understand. I had no problem. And she was on there was like a bar rail, whatever. And this little girl was like climbing up the rail and like swinging on it and stuff. It's like, yeah, you kind of have to make your own entertainment if you're brought to Norm of the North. I get it. Okay, so then I saw Weapons, and I'm definitely not as high on this as everybody else, but I can see it growing on me. It's being this kind of movie that I didn't hate it, but I just, like, people saying it's a masterpiece and stuff. I'm like, I don't know about that, but it sets up a pretty good mystery. It felt kind of Shyamalanian to me, which, he does create good atmosphere and tone and mystery, sense of mystery. It didn't have like a big reveal like Shyamalan would have done, but I could see that being an influence. I wouldn't be surprised. But I think it was the Rashomon effect of the storytelling that maybe was just, I wasn't in the mood for. It was just a little slow to me, and a little obviously repetitive, because it literally is repetitive. But that's why I could see maybe appreciating it more the more I saw it, because I could see different things in each of those acts. But it was just a little slow moving to me. That's just how I felt. But it's a good movie. It's well done. It's well acted. It's surprising, which, I always appreciate, especially in a horror movie, what's happening. It's a little bit, you kind of do have to put the pieces together. It doesn't spoon feed you what is happening as far as this, this woman and what she's doing. And she's basically like a Mother Gothel in this town. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was well made. It was just a little slow for me. That's all I have to say. So let's see here. I recall correctly, the original Norm of the North was 3 on your top 10 worst animated films, understandably. Yeah. I mean, definitely if I'm going for movies I've seen in the theater, so we're not talking about like I don't know, like those cheap knockoffs like Food Fight or whatever. I'm not talking about things like that, like an actual like movie that I saw in the theater. That it's definitely one of the worst for sure. Eight Crazy Nights, that would be up there for me as well. Fixed, I absolutely hated that. So that there we go. You made your top 10 worst anime film back in 2016. I think you should remake it in 2026. Put in Arctic Dogs, Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate, and Spark, A Hero's Tale. Yeah, you're paying attention. Those would all be pretty high. I don't know if Spark would make my all-time worst, but yeah, that was incredibly boring, that movie. But it was bad, no question. But yeah, not a bad idea. Maybe I will, now that I don't feel like I got to do family movie night every week. That is an advantage. It kind of gives another day that I could do a list video or a ranking video or just a bonus kind of a video. Then So I appreciate the suggestion. Okay, so then I would give weapons. I think I would give it like a B minus, a B minus. I'll probably go fresh on it. The more I've thought about it, the more I'm like, it is quality. It's well made. Just if the worst fault is that it's a little slow, it's all right. I'm just not as high on it as everyone else, which is fine. Okay, so then I saw Night Always Comes. This is new to Netflix. It stars Vanessa Kirby, and it is a well-made movie. She's very good in it. She gives it her all. It's about this woman who she has this brother who has Down syndrome, and she's trying to raise $25,000 so that she can save the home of this brother, so that it won't be taken, that it won't foreclose, is basically what it is. So she gets in kind of the underworld of crime, and it was very depressing. It was very slow. There just wasn't enough humanity, or like, because even a depressing crime movie will have moments of humor, moments of humanity. If you think about like even those like Godfather or Goodfellas has tons of humor. And this isn't like a mafia movie, but like, I'm just saying that like even like The Dark Knight, or has quite a bit of humor and like moments of humanity. And this just felt so bleak, and it was so slow. And so I can't say I recommend it. It's not awful, and compared to like other Netflix movies, it's probably on the better side. But as a movie itself, if I'm not giving it the Netflix curve, which I shouldn't do, but it's hard not to sometimes, especially with Happy Gilmore 2. I've thought a lot about that review, and I'm like, maybe I was giving it too much of a pass, just because it was better than that direct that we usually get from Adam Sandler on Netflix. But is that fair? I don't know. I battled back and forth. Let me know what you think about that. But Night Always Comes, it just was kind of a slog. It just was. And I just felt like it was too depressing, too long. So that is my thoughts on Night Always Comes. Okay. Then I saw East of Wall. This was a movie that was at Sundance, but I missed it at Sundance. I didn't see it. And if you've seen Nomadland or The Writer, Chloe Zhao, this feels a lot like those films. It's Kate Beecroft is the director's name, but it does feel like similar to a Chloe Zhao film. And it feels like a mixture of a documentary and a narrative. These are not trained actors, kind of like with Nomadland, for most of the actors, and it's about this woman who runs this ranch, I guess you'd say, that helps train and save horses. Some of them are literally getting sent off to the glue factory. She saves them, which I don't know if you've ever heard that Seinfeld has this whole bit about horses and the glue factory. It's like, I don't know who saw that potential. It's funny. Yeah. But anyway, she saves these horses, and then she tries to train them to do the rodeo, stuff and the different to be useful horses, and then she tries to sell them, and she has this relationship, but also her relationship with her daughter. Very well done, very raw and authentic, beautifully shot, beautifully made. It feels very sort of Sundancey. This is very artistic, very independent. Doesn't have like a ton of plot. It's more about the characters and the sense of place and time where they're at. That in the Badlands, South Dakota, you really get a sense of this time in that part of the world, people that are struggling, people that are just trying to make some kind of difference within their little world. I think that all works quite well. The only thing that I struggled with a little bit in the movie was that they have like a very strong accent, and it was sometimes hard to understand for me what they were saying. It's only 97 minutes, so it's not a long film, but I sometimes struggled to understand what they were saying in the dialogue. So I would have helped if I had a closed captions, but my screener didn't have that. But for me at least, if I were to watch it again, I would put on the closed captions. Okay, so then I saw Highest to Lowest. That's the number 2. This is the latest film from Spike Lee and stars Denzel Washington. And this is definitely the most overrated film of the year. I cannot believe that it has 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. I thought this was pretty terrible. I really did. I mean, just on almost every level, I thought it was very bad. But especially the script, I guess, is a remake from Kurosawa. I haven't seen the original film, but the plot was like nonsensical. It was ridiculous. I mean, so 2 different kids end up getting abducted, and it ends up being the final kid. It ends up being Denzel Washington's godson. And when he finds out that it's the godson, he's just like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to pay this ransom, which the ransom is $17.5 million, which is like nothing for, like, literally they keep showing all this artwork all over the house in this fancy apartment in this mansion in Dumbo in Brooklyn, showing all this artwork. Like a couple of those pieces alone would be worth what they need. They're all this fancy jewelry that his wife has. I mean, this is not just some random person. This is his godson. This is the son of his driver, who's like his best friend. And the fact that he'd be like, I don't know if I'm gonna help out this, like, what? And earlier in the movie, they're talking about $300 million that they are gonna. He's like, well, you shouldn't donate $500 million to that charity. You should donate $300 million because we're a little hard up right now. And it's like, you couldn't have them donate 280 so you have a little bit to help save your godson? Like, it's absurd and ridiculous. The plot is terrible. The acting was fine, I guess, but the dialogue was so clunky. And there'd be like one scene where it would be all tense and like, I don't know what's gonna happen with my godson, whatever. And then the next scene would be like, hey, cool, man. Like, what? Like, it had no sorts of tonal continuity, or I was baffled. There's a bunch of scenes that make no sense in the story. Like, there's one scene where he drops the ransom off of a train randomly. They don't know that he's going to be there. They don't know that he will trip there. He literally trips, right? And he drops the ransom. Well, it just so happens that the person who's collecting the ransom is directly underneath him and catches it. Like, what? How can he possibly know? Like, there's just so many things like that. And then there's this like wild chase where they're going through this market and this Puerto Rican festival kind of thing. And you would think it was all of a sudden like a trippy comedy. And it's supposed to be this tense moment. And later on in the movie, and I'm sorry, I know I'm spoiling things, I don't know, but like his choices made no sense. Like later on in the movie, he he finds out where the abductor lives, and he goes to their house, and he sees that that his wife has the bangle from his wife. He knows this is it. This is the guy. So he knows where this person lives and where the mother and the child are. And yet he still goes and goes alone to this studio where he would easily be shot, this unhinged person who's literally abducted two people. And you're just like, why would you do that if you literally knew? And he'd taken a photo of the bracelet. He could show that to the authorities, who are all like, I don't know, follow your lead. If he literally had a picture, this is the stolen item on her wrist. This is where she lives. You're going to tell me they're not going to go over there? I mean, it was so bad. I am baffled. I am confused. I don't understand why anybody would give this any kind of praise. It was incompetently put together. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. The music, oh my gosh, was so distracting. Every single score moment felt like this belongs in a completely different movie. It made no sense for the tone, the feel, the style. Like, I was just so confused by every scoring decision. I can't think of many movies that it was so off key for what was happening in almost every scene. Even the very, very first scene is they have "Oh What a Beautiful Morning" from Oklahoma, which makes no sense. Like, why would you have that as your opening scene? This is not in the Midwest. This is in Dumbo in New York. This does not have anything to do with like musical theater or in the morning or I don't know. I'm just like, I don't understand why he would use that song at that moment. It was terrible. I was shocked at how incompetent and terrible this movie was. That's just how I feel. I saw almost no redeeming values to this movie. I guess Denzel was fine with what was given him, but it was such bad dialogue, he couldn't save it. It was bad. So let's see here. Okay. Then next I saw Red Sonja. And if you were to tell me that I would like a basically direct to DVD version of Red Sonja better than the latest Spike Lee Denzel Washington film, I would have said you're nuts. But that is the reality of the situation. Yeah, it was actually pretty entertaining. Like, this is a very small budgeted film. I read somewhere that it was like $17 million. Even if that's off the mark, it's low. It's a low budget film. But I thought that they had fun with that. They kind of made it part of the charm of this type of storytelling. They made it part of like the B movie appeal. And they did quite a bit with makeup and the resources that they had. But most importantly, the lead, Matilda Lutz, was great. She had that like kick butt personality, but she was warm and empathetic and fun. And they even like lean into the B movie attributes as far as her outfit, you know, being like, this is ridiculous, this sexy outfit, but they kind of make a joke about it. Like, that's the kind of movie this is. It's not that long. And so that was refreshing to me. It's under 2 hours. And a lot of times these kinds of adventure stories feel bloated and boring. I wasn't bored. I liked her story. I liked the prince. He was hunky and fun. It's just a fun movie. I had a good time with it. I had a good time with the action. Yeah, I mean, if you care that much about something looking amazing, then you'll maybe not like it. But I've seen movies with $100-200 million budgets, even $300 million budgets, that looked crappy too. And so the fact that this looks a little rough, again, they kind of make that part of the personality. They make it a B movie, and the action was good, the characters were good, the story was fun. I had a good time with it. I would recommend it. I liked it. I would give it like a B plus or B. So that's my thoughts on Red Sonja. I think you should check it out if you like those kinds of adventure movies, action adventure, then you'll probably like it if you go in with an open mind. I saw Fixed. That was a bit ago, but it finally came out that I saw Fixed. And this was absolutely atrocious. I hated it. Gendy's latest. I appreciate that he wants to explore adult animation, but you have to think of a variety of jokes. That was the biggest problem I had with it, is that it really was just like one dog testicle joke after another, after another, after another, dog sex jokes. There were some that were like kind of rapey in tone that was like, what are we supposed to think about? This is bizarre. I don't know. Like, I just, in the end, funny saves all. And I just didn't laugh almost ever. So it was painful to sit through. I really disliked it. So that's my thoughts on Fixed. The animation's fine. Like, it's enjoyable, the animation, but the story and the jokes were just awful. I hated it. Okay, then I saw Americana. This is the latest movie starring Sydney Sweeney, but she's actually not in it as much as the trailers and the publicity would make you think, because I think it's 7 stories. It's one of those ones, and each person that gets a lead in the story gets their own act of the movie, and so there is a section that's all about her, but then it goes away from her, and then finally at the end it kind of all brings back. And for a lot of the movie, she's gagged and being like abducted, and so she literally can't talk, and she also has a stutter the whole movie, and she's quite convincing. It's a good performance. I mean, all the performances are good in this. This is extremely violent. It is definitely not going to be for everyone. There's like heavy carnage. At one point, there's just like bodies and Sydney Sweeney's character and like a couple other women, and then just bodies everywhere. So, if that's not your thing, then you won't enjoy it. It's centered around, there's this Indian war shirt, that ghost shirt. It's a Lakota ghost shirt that gets stolen. And at the beginning, there's like these rich bourgeois people that have it, and then it gets taken by another. And each way, there's like huge carnage. He believes that he is the reincarnation of Sitting Bull, and the ghost shirt belongs to him. And Sydney Sweeney plays this waitress who has kind of seen everything and wants to be involved, wants to help with the shirt, and she wants to be a country singer. Is her goal. And she meets Paul Walter Hauser. We never see her sing, though. She just talks about singing. Paul Walter Hauser, he's this guy named Lefty. He becomes kind of involved. He's like lovesick and is proposing to all these women. You also have this woman who grew up in basically like an FLDS is what they're trying to do. They don't say Mormon FLDS, but that's what it's, a religious cult kind of thing. She goes back, and there's tons of carnage there. So yeah, if that sounds like fun to you, I mean, it's well done, well acted, well made. Each of the stories, I think, it works together for your conclusion. If you like sort of a gritty Western, then you'll like this. But if you're watching this hoping for like a sexy Sydney Sweeney movie, then you'll be disappointed, because she's, like I said, she's gagged most of the time. She has like a stutter. This is not a sexy performance. It's a good performance, but I guess just what you're looking for when you watch it. So, but I liked it. I thought it was a good movie for what it's trying to be. Okay. Then I saw Went Up the Hill. So this is a very difficult movie to explain. It is an art house film, and it kind of feels like a 2-person play, like in a black box kind of a situation. There are other actors, but the main things, and Vicky Krieps from Phantom Thread They're the main characters of the film, and he is the son of a woman who has died in the beginning of the story. He's coming back. He was abandoned by her as a young child, and then he confronts her wife, so played by Vicky Krieps. And what ends up happening is the ghost of his mother slash her wife ends up coming and possessing them at different times. So sometimes she's in his body, sometimes he's in her body, and they sort of confront their grief and their feelings about this person through the other person, but also through her possessing them. So it's like technically a ghost story, but it's kind of similar to a ghost story by David Lowery. Like, yes, technically it's a ghost story, but not like, it's more sort of thoughtful and it's not scary at all. Like, this is not a horror movie at all. Like, this is a drama, family drama with like a supernatural element is how I would describe it. But it is quite good. I mean, I think that both the performances are really good and moving, and I think it was creative and different. And so if you want to see like an artsy film that explores themes of love and grief and family and these kinds of things, then you'll like it. Where it lost me is, so Went Up the Hill, that's a nod to Jack and Jill Went Up the Hill, and the two characters' names are Jack and Jill. And that was just stupid. Every time that they would talk about it, or they would talk about going to fetch a pail of water, or, there would be like these little winks to the title. I just thought it was stupid, because I mean, this is a heavy movie. Like, it does not need like nursery rhyme symbolism to kind of make it more like artsy or whatever. I don't know. It's just, that was stupid. I didn't like that element. It was distracting, I think, and you didn't need it. Like, it was a good little two-person drama that I think was unique. I haven't seen anything quite like it, so I do recommend it, but definitely won't be for everybody. And the nursery rhyme elements were not the best. So that is Went Up the Hill. So that is all of the movies that I've seen since the last time that I did a live stream. So that's pretty good. And so let's talk about theater. Okay, let's do this. So the main theater that I saw is I went to the Utah Shakespeare Festival, and this is a Tony Award winning festival. It's a professional company. They're incredible. And I went as part of Utah Theater Lovers. If you love theater, Broadway, musical theater, live theater of any kind, you should follow and become a member of Utah Theater Lovers on Facebook and be part of it. And anybody can also be part of the trips that they do. Usually they do a trip to New York at least once, sometimes twice a year, and they are awesome. They are able to get such like the big hot ticket shows they're able to get tickets for because it's a group, and so it helps you be able to see stuff that might be harder to see. And I think they're very reasonable, and they have tons of like behind the scenes seminars, other things like that. It's a great experience. I highly recommend Utah Theater Lovers. And so they were the ones that planned this trip to documentary activities for every single play. There was seminars and behind the scenes kinds of things, and just so much. So you could, and that's all optional, of course. So you can make it as in depth as you want. And these people like out theatered even me. It was amazing. We'd go 2 shows plus all the supplementary. Plus, when we came home, we would have a big sit down and what did you all think and talk about. She came out for it, and I was so grateful that it worked out, because it just was one of those trips where it seemed like everything was going wrong. Like, her aunt got sick and other things were happening. Was she going to be able to make it? Things were with her job, and and it it showed that we were able to make it work, and she was able to come. So it was so fun, and we will have a whole episode of On Stage Blog uh, where we talk about Shakespeare, talk about everything we saw, all that stuff. That's going to be coming. You'll see. I'll share it on this channel, and I'll share it. I'll share clips and things like that. Okay. The theater that I missed. This was very well done. It's not my favorite. I just don't think it's that funny, and so I find it kind of boring. I just don't love this play, but it's a classic, and they do a very good job. I was really tired after the long drive, not sleeping well, problem, but it was my least favorite of the festival. Important to be in earnest, just because I just don't love that play. So that's just the way it is. And then I saw Macbeth, and this was really interesting. And I'm no Shakespeare scholar. I've seen Macbeth many times, but I'm not a scholar on it. But what was interesting is that they had, I don't know the name of the character, I forget, but they had additional characters beyond the weird sisters, which are usually just 3. And they particularly had this one character, it's like Heige, I think is what it was called, something like that. I forget, sorry. But that had these giant wings. It was like a superhero moment. It was very hard rock and very, very cool. And the Weird Sisters were definitely the highlight of this production. Really, really well done. And it was very good. I enjoyed it very much. The only thing is I did feel like, especially Lady Macbeth, was because there was so much emphasis on the Weird Sisters and on that sort of side of it, that Lady Macbeth's big moments felt a little bit like an afterthought to me. They weren't like the big moment that you expect, especially for a production with so much gravitas as this one had. So that would be my only kind of feedback about it. But it was excellent. I was also not feeling great. It was a long day, and I was overheated, and so that's partly my fault. And so then the next day, we saw Steel Magnolias, and I love this play. I was thinking about it, that there are certain plays that I think are just home runs. They are just great plays, and I love getting to see them. I love getting to. It's hard to screw up, in my opinion, and I think Steel Magnolias is one of those. It's just so well written. It's so well done. It has such a good mixture of humor and drama, and if the big key for Steel Magnolias is, do the women have chemistry? That's and they did. They had really, really, really good chemistry, and it was my favorite of the festival. But part of it is just I just love this play. It's kind of like Important to Be in Earnest. I just don't love that play. Whereas Steel Magnolias, I love that play. So that's just, human beings have opinions and preferences. Instances, excellent chemistry. So, okay, then I saw Antony and Cleopatra. I had never seen this before. It's not performed that often, and I guess they cut like a ton. I mean, they cut all of them. Anybody who does Shakespeare cuts this, I guess. But it was interesting. I kind of joking that I felt like Shakespearean Harlequin, the way they did it, which was sort of fun. It almost had like an over-the-top cheesy romance kind of feel to it, and so I liked it. It was fun to see something new and different. Okay, then we saw a little play called Dear Jack, Dear Louise, and this was very sweet. This was in a black box. This was 2 actors, 2-hander, a couple in real life, which is always fun, and writing about his parents and their meeting over letters in World War II. And that was like charming and sweet and romantic, right up my alley. Very fun. This is just, I like a good rom-com, of course. Everyone knows that. So this is very, very good. And the couple, obviously, they are a couple in real life. The leads, they had great chemistry. So that was great. And then we saw As You Like It. That was the last of the festival that we saw. And I think maybe I've seen this one other time, but it's been a while. I don't have a strong memory of it. And the only thing was surprising me is that I didn't think it was that funny. Like, I think that it was chuckle funny, but not like uproariously funny, like 12th Night and Much Ado About Nothing are. So I was expecting even more like that, but it's very similar to Midsummer's Night Dream. Like, both are about like different couples getting lost in the forest and magic and just different things. So I think if you like Midsummer's Night Dream, I put it with Midsummer's Night Dream, Tempest, As You Like It. I think those are pretty similar, those three. So, but it was good, very well done, very well acted. It was a nice way to end the festival. So, as far as other things that I've seen on stage, I saw Daddy Longlegs, and I love Daddy Longlegs. I love that musical. I think it's perfect. It's so well written. This was at Centerpoint Legacy, which is one of my favorites. And I've interviewed Paul Gordon, the composer. It's up there with, it's definitely in my top 5 favorite musicals. And they were so good. Such great chemistry, and just it's incredible because they have to. It's just 2 people on stage, kind of like Dear Jack, Dear Louise, and they have to hold your attention that whole time and develop the chemistry, even though they actually aren't interacting with each other. Very similar, actually, plays Dear Louise, Dear Jack, except for Daddy Longlegs has music, and I love the music. So I'm actually going to see it again because I want to see the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday cast. So I'm going next week to see Daddy Longlegs. I love it. So that was fun. And then I saw Annie, and this was at Wasatch Theater Company. It was in a black box, and this was one of those moments of live theater where it just feels like nothing can go right. Like, everything that could go wrong went wrong. The mics were a total nightmare. The lighting kept having problems. People would be completely blacked out, or the spotlight was having issues. It was just a mess. But they kept plugging away. And I did really like the Annie, and I really liked Daddy Warbucks. He was warm and endearing and lovely. And so by the end, even though it was a mess, I had a good experience. And that's the greatness of community theater. And we all sang, and so I'm glad I saw it, even though it was tough. Okay, so then I saw Hunchback of Notre Dame at West Valley Performing Arts Center. I just saw this last night, and it was absolutely outstanding. I highly recommend, if you are to go see it. It was so good. All of the singing, all of the acting, all of the visual effects, the way they used the stage. And I have not been that big a fan of West Valley, the way they've been particularly using their stage, this theater in the round. But it was so immersive, it was so effective, and I was just moved to tears. And it's a show I've seen many, many, many times, and of course I've seen the movie, but it was as good as anything I will ever see on Broadway. I believe that it was great. And so if you are in this area, it's playing until the 30th. You should. The Frollo was so good. Like, what an incredible voice, what an incredible performance. I just very impressed with it, and I just can't recommend it more highly. So that is everything that I saw Stage and Screen, That's the News about Family Movie Night. And let me know what you think about that news and what you think about all the things that I talked about. Would love to hear your thoughts. And please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We're getting more and more subscribers every day. It's like we got over that 5K bump, and then it's just been pretty like it was so hard to get over that 5K bump, and now we're almost at 6K, which is crazy. So that's exciting. And so yeah, subscribe, like, make sure you check out the KSL Movie Show, everything going on over there. And if you go on their Facebook page and just let them know we love Rachel on, like that would be amazing, and I would be so grateful for that. And just so they know that people like having me on, that'd be awesome. But I'm so grateful to get to do that, and grateful to have the channel and podcasts and everything that I get to be able to do. And I'm still going to be doing like once a week, posting some kind of podcast. And a lot of times, because I'm just seeing so many more movies now because of the show, I'm going to probably be doing one of these live streams like every week, or at least every 10 days for sure. So I hope you enjoy those. Let me know. And thanks so much, everybody. We will talk to you all later. Bye.